So the fall of Arabia has begun because the Congo are about to take Mecca here. So we will begin to see the African powers move from Africa and into the Arabian Peninsula, which is big because it's going to kind of put some more pressure on civs like Persia and like Babylon, especially Babylon, as they continue to lose tons and tons of units to this very just nothing. This war that is not going to result in anything. So I need to check on how Rome is doing. I did just kind of have I just had everything processing in the background. It looks like are the Dutch moving through Greek territory, or are they trying to attack and regain Rotterdam? We're gonna find out right here. Let's see. Nope, they are moving through Greek territory. I wasn't sure if they declared a war. So what are the Dutch? What could the Dutch be doing right now? I have no idea. Either way, we also have Ethiopia continuing to attack, and then there's going to be a race for Medina. This is interesting because Ethiopia and the Congo, I think, are pretty similar in strength. And then we have the Ashanti over there in Western Africa. I mean, they're actually, I think that maybe they were the most powerful, and they still have, I think, options. They definitely still have options on who they want to attack next, but I don't know. The Congo are starting to grow in strength, and so are the Ethiopians. I should have mentioned in the last video, too, that this is the 5th big war that's going on. Argentina and Colombia. I didn't think it was going to be... I guess I wasn't realizing how long it was going to take Argentina to take out Colombia, though. Colombia has a lot more troops than I initially expected. I'm actually prepared that... I think that the Inca are probably going to attack the north down. The north to the south, and start to really put some pressure on Colombia. Obviously, fighting two fronts, they will not be able to survive both an onslaught of Argentina units from the south and Inca units in the north. Okay, so we've got Texas denouncing Ethiopia. That's fine. Harun al-Rashid has lost his capital city. And did Ethiopia move their turn yet? I don't think so. Either way, the race for Medina is about to begin. Medina is an okay city at 11 population. I mean, none of these cities are really that great. I mean, they don't really have that much population. They're in the middle of the desert. They're not going to be extremely useful to either one of these empires, but it's all about the borders. It's all about what it opens up for you in the future. And that's what this is interesting, because let's say Ethiopia is the one to take over Medina. Ethiopia then has the ability to either attack Persia or Babylon. Oh, but he's done. Never mind. There's no reason to even go into the what-ifs, because Ethiopia is done with Arabia. They're going to leave these two cities to themselves, which is a mistake, obviously. If the Congo might take both of these two cities. So Sadu, I don't know, whatever that is, that might get, I think, eaten up by the Congo or the Persians. I don't know. It depends. I mean, Ethiopia has a border, and if they build up a bigger navy, they could probably just move around here from the Horn of Africa to defend this city from the Persians, or maybe from a Congo attack. But if the Congo attack the Ethiopians, we're going to see a much bigger battle, not really a battle for this city. There's going to be a much, much bigger battle going on in the heart of Europe right now. I'm sorry, the heart of Africa. Ashanti really building up a lot of troops. I mean, they've been protecting their capital for a few videos now, but now they're starting to just rebuild these unique units here, and they're moving. I don't know where they're moving towards, but they're not really surrounding the Roman borders, which is kind of interesting. Surprised to see that. So the Roman attack towards the Greeks has, I think, been stomped out, at least here their eastern front. But the Romans, I think, are investing in the siege of Rotterdam, which is still a pretty big city to take. That would still be pretty big. Chinook and Portugal have peaced out. We have Byzantium here on Ireland. Nobody in Greenland just yet. Canada is still clearly at war with the Sioux, which is actually pretty interesting, because Canada might be able to eat away at a lot of these Sioux colonies that they just have randomly. Oh my gosh, wait, when did the Sioux start massively spamming cities in the Arctic? This is the Arctic, right? The North Pole, this area? I don't know when they started doing that. They must have been doing that for a long time, but they have a lot more cities than I checked last time. They only have 2 population. I mean, it's not really going to be the most useful of cities. It's pretty much built out here in the snow. They will have eventually access to uranium. because of this spot. 4 sources of uranium, to be exact. Is California doing anything else? No. Novgorod did settle another city, pretty much a colony. Japan is just staying, watching their Eastern Asian foothold cities. Obviously, you will see that I have the campaign on auto end turn. That way, I don't even have to hit next turn. It's just like boom. If a big war pops up, or if there's something that we need to look at, then I will stop that. But anyway, so the Koreans still not really attacking the Champa. They're engaging. I mean, this was a big mistake for the Champa to move this caravel out there in the middle of the sea like that. So that guy's going to get just wrecked. But they're not. At least the Champa are holding on to their capital. At the very least, they're doing that. So that's good for them. Mogul's doing better and better. They have also their own unique unit. This is a cannon unit, which is really cool. I wonder what that gives. Oh my gosh, look at that. These things are huge. Cannon and elephants. That's a really cool graphic. So we're going to see cannon elephants versus like spear elephants from the Siamese. They're Siamese elephants. That's awesome. Okay, let's go. Let's check what's going on here. We still have Babylon launching range attacks. But outside of that, really nothing. Greece actually moving in for their own offensive move against Rome and maybe to try to siege out Antium, but that definitely won't happen. I think it's safe to say that will not happen. The Congo still have not peaced out with Arabia yet, which makes me think that they're going to want to take Medina at the very least. I think the Congo want Medina, and at that point, they maybe will offer a peace deal. What do we have here? We've got great war bombers. So that is what Russia was doing. That's what I figured. And Russia's dealing with barbarians. Again, this is why Russia isn't running away with the victory here. Russia, I think, is dealing with some happiness issues. I don't think they have enough luxuries out here. Ethiopia, settling here in Central Asia. So Russia's going to have to run back home. But I think Russia could easily take that #1 spot if they just went crazy with their settling. But they can't. They're having a lot of issues with that. So it's making the campaign more even. A lot of people saw Russia start to blob out, and they're like, oh, Russia's going to win. It's safe to say. No, that is not the case, because Russia is having lots of barbarian issues, and they're very slowly having to expand instead of like someone like the Sioux or someone like the Congo or Ethiopia just kind of sending out their settlers wherever. We've got Great Britain peacing out with Portugal. Is that everything? Yes. Really want to see what Poland's going to do. So what Poland needs to do is they need to attack Russia right now. Well, wait for the barbarians to move a little bit off further to the east, but then maybe attack. Since Russia has this free military, I'd imagine that they're going to use that to probably start up a war against somebody, but we don't know who it is going to be against. Maybe Novgorod. Novgorod actually building a lot of frigates out here in the Baltic Sea, which is interesting. Let's go ahead and check in on South America. How you doing, South America? You're okay. Actually, Argentina's using a pretty good strategy. They have open borders with the Inca, so they're going to try to launch an attack from there. The problem is that, man, I've got to give it to Colombia. Colombia is kind of like a city-state right now, but they have so many units, it's going to be hard to grind through them. Argentina's done a pretty poor job at just destroying Colombian units, too. So that is making, I think, the biggest impact. Looks like America is starting to they're maybe going to launch a naval assault against somebody. I know that they're still at war with the Mayans, but at this point, no one's going to really be able to take over the Mayans. Maybe Texas, maybe, if they're lucky. Oh man, the border war is about to be real. There are so many settlers all over the place. We've got Kimberly going for Siberian lands, Eastern Siberia. Did Persia only sent over 2, right? Well, we've got the Chinook also coming off of Hawaii, maybe towards some of these Pacific Islands. America picking up a Pacific Island, maybe, possibly, or the southern part of New Zealand, which is actually pretty cool too. Surprised that Australia doesn't have way more ships. Surprised that they don't have like tons more ships. They're very, very slow at their naval building. Wow, we've got the Congo now at 5 planes, 2 triplanes, 3 great war bombers. They're the first empire, I think, to have planes, but I'm not really paying attention that much. Obviously, you guys know me. I'm not. Who pays attention? I don't pay attention. I don't say words right. I smoke crack. I mean, what is attention for, anyways? Okay, so Rome might be able to do this. It's going to be close. Man, if Rome just had a little bit of help from the Dutch, he'd easily be able to take the city over. But obviously, he's not getting that help, and that's definitely hurting him. Or Poland, too, could help, but I don't really know what the Poland has in mind. Denmark might be launching a sneak attack against somebody. Lots of riflemen starting to move around, which are actually way ahead of what Norway has. Norway's still with just pikemen. Sweden's still trying to take over some Greek cities, but I don't think they have enough troops to do that. Denmark's actually not doing that bad if you look at it. I know they only have 2 cities, but they're not bad in terms of they have a military, and they're somewhat ahead in technology. So I got to give them credit for that. That is what I thought. Okay, so Canada's going to pick up a lot of cities here, I think. Especially if they continue to invest in this navy that they've already started to build. They can easily grab all these Sioux coastal cities because they're all very poor cities. They're all with like 3 population or less. The Sioux are not going to be able to pump out really that much of a navy at all. From even if it's like 10 3 population cities or less, you're not going to be able to build a ship with that. I mean, you might build 1 or 2, but not very strong fleets. One thing that Canada needs to keep in mind, well, Quebec is, I was going to say, they don't have that many coastal cities either, but Toronto's at 8 pop, Quebec at 8. They've got a few more that are smaller that probably won't be doing that much, but they can still produce enough ships to out-produce, I think, to out-manufacture the Sioux in the north there. So that'll be very interesting to see Canada start to pick up cities up there. And still start to grow their borders, even though it seems like they've been capped off. You know, they're kind of landlocked at this point. It's still going to be interesting. Boom, Congo and Arabia have peaced out. Lots of peace deals. Ethiopia and the Greeks, Kimberley and the Germans. So Arabia is going to exist with only 2 cities, at least in their major empire. I'm not sure. There's going to be so many different colonies out all over the place that I don't really know what's going to be... how many cities each civ is going to have. Rome is somewhat retreated here. Maybe they don't want to do this anymore. How's the Roman military looking? It's okay. It's not the best. It's been better, definitely. Which makes me think the Ashanti might be gearing up. I mean, they could roll over these 3 colonies that Augustus has, but I don't think that's who they want to attack. I think the Ashanti might attack the Congo here. That's what it looks like. The collapse of a Congo empire would be huge for the world, but mainly huge for the Ashanti and the Ethiopians, especially if the Ethiopians join in, which I think they probably would. But I don't know. I mean, that's what it's kind of feeling like. It's really feeling like the Ashanti are going to launch an attack against the Congo. But the Congo have planes. They have an air force, which will somewhat help. And that massive navy that Ashanti has won't really do much against the Congo. 1 coastal city along the Atlantic Ocean. So I don't think so. Okay, what's going on with this war? Uh-oh. Oh, we've a crash. Well, this is the perfect time to end it anyways. So we'll have to end it a little bit early. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.